Hey, people, listen, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. Welcome in the building. I'm glad to see y'all back here hanging out with the diva. It's trending topics time, people, and the title is called Protect the People. Protect the People. That's our title tonight. Protect the People. Listen, I got a short story. It's not on the docket, but I'm going to add in. We're going to have a quick discussion about it because I think it's a good thing. You know, when you are selected to be a juror, a lot of people, it's not all fun. It's not fun and games. I'll put it to you that way. It's not fun and games, especially when it's in your hands to to come up with a verdict on a murder trial. It's not easy. Because people could get very upset no matter which way you go with the verdict, even though you're going by the evidence that the prosecution gives you. No matter which way you go, there may be some people in the general public that will be upset with the decision that you made. And then maybe you have to sleep at night or try to sleep at night after you have made such decision. So there's one town, they decided to do like aftercare for the jurors who wanted it. And I'm here for it, right? Aftercare for the jurors to say that, you know what? You served your duty as a citizen. You may be struggling with some pictures or some things that you saw when you was on the jury, and we're here to support you. Because when it's a murder trial, you are legit seeing the actual photos of this dead person. Maybe the person got bullet holes in them, stab wounds or whatever. You're seeing these photos. These individuals in the Sonia Massey case, and that cop was recently found guilty. But these particular individuals, we saw up until the point on the general news when Sonia Massey got shot, but they saw her actual pictures of her being laid down, blood running out of her head. They saw that. So imagine having to live your life after visually seeing that, and you are a regular everyday citizen. You don't work in the hospital. You're not an EMT worker. You're not a police officer who may be exposed to said things on a more regular basis. You are just a regular citizen. And now you being passed around pictures. Sometimes these pictures involve children. Imagine having that image in your head. So they got an aftercare program for the kids, and I just want to throw that in there. We're going to talk about it real quick. And then we got, this is why I said protect the people. Offset, him and Cardi B, they still didn't finalize their divorce yet. But, they're separated, and she's having someone else's child already. And listen here, I don't know these people. I just have conversations about the trending topics at hand, right? And I will say this. I'll say this to anybody, not just Cardi B. Everybody got the right to do whatever they want to do with their body. But I will say this. When you are in a relationship and you're getting a divorce, why don't you wait till you are fully divorced before you get into something serious with somebody else, and truly wait till you're fully divorced before you start letting somebody just blast off in you with no protection? That's the easiest way I can say it. It's messy. And if I heard right with Cardi B baby daddy, he's expecting twins, I believe, from somebody else. So Offset, he named no names in his new music that he wrote, but he kind of it seems like a diss towards his soon-to-be ex-wife. And I also think this, when you have children with somebody, no matter how pissed off you get, to the best of your ability, don't be saying anything crazy about them in public, on social media, whether you're famous or not. But that's just a diva thought, and we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about the CBS. Over there where Gayle King works, there's rumors that Gayle is about to lose her job, but Gayle came out the building the other day and said, they ain't tell me nothing. As far as I know, I'm good. They love what I'm doing over here, and I'm not losing my job. But there is a producer from CBS who said that a lot of people lost their job, but the people that lost their job, they look like me. They look like the diva, the black people. He's saying the black people lost their job and other people, got redirected to other jobs. Well, they did say part of the 2025, Project 2025, they was going to get rid of DEI. Now, I'm not saying this producer was a DEI hire, but listen, it's sad. But a lot is going on these days, and I'm praying for the people. Wholeheartedly, 100%. And then the last story we're going to talk about, and this is nothing against this particular individuals. When I have these stories, it's so that we can have a greater conversation to give a message to all of us. Now, I'm not quite sure when they said how much warning they had about the storm Melissa that was going to hit Jamaica. I'm not sure how much warning they got. If you know how many days of a warning they got, tell me in the comments and let me know. So, but I know they got some type of warning. And I know that regardless of the warning, they do have a hurricane season. And I'm speaking to all the travelers out there. Jamaica has a hurricane season. If you know when the season is, let me know. But I know they have a hurricane season. And when you are going to go on a trip there, if you want to take the risk and go hurricane season, it'll be cheaper than other seasons if you go there to visit, if you follow what I'm saying. So I don't know when their hurricane season typically is, but I do know that they had at least a few days warning about Hurricane Melissa. So a lot of tourists got caught out there in Hurricane Melissa. They were saying, of course, there was no flights out because one of the airports, the roof got ripped off the airport. Certainly ain't no, thank you, Sasuke. So, it's August to December. Well, if you want to take a risk of going there from August to December, you taking a risk. Shout out to the mods. Show my mods some love out in the chat, please. So like I said, I don't know how many days or weeks they heard about Hurricane Melissa, but a lot of people got stuck out there. And they were saying that, the hotels was charging $700 a night per person. It got wild out there. But this particular story, as I'm going to tell you about, a young lady that went out there with her husband. She had a kidney transplant. And anytime you have a organ transplant, you have to take meds for the rest of your life or your body will reject said organ. Because your body, it knows about foreign stuff. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's why when you get an infection, you may get a fever and all kinds of things that's happening to you. Why? Because your body is like danger, danger, danger. And it's trying to fight this foreign thing that is in your body. So all of these people that want to get the breast implants, the butt implants, and all kinds of stuff, they're going to have scar tissue and all kinds of other things going on. Why? Because their body is like, what is this? It's almost like your body is saying stranger danger. It's almost like your body is saying stranger danger. So she has to take meds the rest of her life so her body can accept the transplant, right? Well, she went to Jamaica with her husband. Now they stuck out there. And now she's running out of time because she don't have her medicine. I want to say this lightly because this is nothing against her. And I get it, how you still want to live your life. And you don't want, just because you have a transplant, you don't want to limit living your life. But there are so many places you can go where you can still have access, even if you stuck somewhere, to the medication that you need. And I would suggest, yeah, thank you, Denise. The Caribbean has a hurricane season. Yeah, I pray she gets her meds, but you know, we always have to have the greater conversation to, you know, the diva audience and whoever may come across this video and you have a transplant. I would say try to go wherever you're going with at least a month worth of medication, just in case you get stuck somewhere. Or always go where you still have access to a pharmacy that even if you are about to run out of medication, you still have access to a pharmacy that can get you your medication. I feel for her. And I understand that she wanted to go away and she was waiting to go. But maybe because of your condition, all your travel and all your vacations may need to be local. But I do pray that she get her meds. So listen, people, thanks for being here Saturday night. Y'all know the routine. Hit the like button. Listen, I need a what in the chat because I'm about to bring the people on in the building. I need a choo choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Saturday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Protect the People. We got Offset, seem to be dissing his estranged wife and his new music. Can't we do a little bit better than that? We got kids together. We got the CBS producer claiming there's a little racism going on. We're going to talk about it. We got the woman that is stranded in Jamaica. So everybody, let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Julius. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, y'all. Hit the like button for the diva, please.
Hey, Wayne.
Go to Jamaica.
Hey, diva.
Hurricane season, y'all crazies.
All right now, people. Thank you, Moz. I see you in the building working hard. I want to do an ancillary story first that is not even on the docket, but I think it's worth us having a conversation to talk about. Let me share a screen because I do think, you know, it's not easy being a juror, number one. I pray for the jurors, and I personally, I swear to goodness, every time they call me for jury duty, I get picked for the freaking case. I do what I have to do, but I don't want to do nobody's murder trial. I just do not. I really do not. And I know somebody got to do it, but I don't want that somebody to be me. But if you do it, I do feel like they should have an aftercare program like it's set up in this situation. Let's take a listen.
Considered a vital public service. Millions every year report to courtrooms to determine justice for crimes often gruesome and tragic. It often leaves many jurors traumatized with no assistance after the trial is over. In tonight's In Depth, Jerika Duncan reports on a program trying to provide support and therapy.
As an IT specialist, 37-year-old Corey Wallace is used to offering support to others. But he says he was the one who needed help after serving on a jury for a murder trial in Philadelphia. Did you want to serve?
Absolutely not. I did not want to spend any time in a courtroom.
The jury ultimately convicted a man of first-degree murder in the killing of a 27-year-old transgender woman. Investigators found her dismembered body in a river near a park that Wallace used to frequent.
There would be, nights where I was just driving around the city and I might make eye contact with a transgender person as I'm in the car, and it's like a lightning strike. I thought I was over it, moving past it, and I would just get dumped back in these flashes.
Jurors were shown gruesome pictures of bloody crime scenes. Wallace says he never saw the victim's face until after the trial.
The first thing I saw was her face and the eyes and the hair, and it struck me. This woman that was full of life was so savagely murdered.
Across this country, 11 million people will report for jury duty each year. Now, less than 500,000 will serve on violent criminal cases, including murder. Counseling and mental health services offered to jurors after the verdict are rare.
I'm pulling regular people off the street, a deli worker, a plumber, a librarian. They don't know what they're really getting into when they come down for jury service.
Philadelphia Jury Commissioner Patrick Martin had an idea. create a program to help jurors handle trauma. Why is this so important to you?
The jurors are mine. They're my responsibility, not just when they get the summons in the mail, but when they go home.
He partnered with psychologist Michelle Pohl at Westchester University to come up with a plan.
What are your thoughts about that?
Grad students who are trained by Pohl offer at least 3 free support sessions to jurors. They use a technique called psychological first aid.
It's not any different from what first responders receive. And what we've done with psychological first aid is really to focus on where do we sort of customize this for jurors.
The program launched in April. One of the first jurors to take advantage, Corey Wallace, who had a follow-up visit with Pohl this month.
She helped me kind of disconnect that web of yarn that had all those conflicting emotions associated with it. I would not have been able to do that without her.
Needed support after the verdict. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, Philadelphia.
I thought that was a good thing when I came across that, and I really wanted us to kind of see that and have a quick conversation about it, especially because I've been watching lately so many of these different trials that are going on. I most recently saw the trial with that rapper Julio from Jacksonville, Florida, and the first defendant was found guilty on a lesser charge, manslaughter. But I just thought to myself, and those individuals had to actually see photos of Julio and just crime scene photos and all that. And I just said to myself, that's a lot. It's just definitely a lot. Sasuke, you're lucky. Oh, look at mom, NYPD. Thank God. Yeah. Katrina, your thoughts on that? Just having an aftercare program for these jurors, I think it's a good thing. What are your thoughts?
I do too, Diva. Because like sometimes what you don't see help you get through the day. But when you seeing stuff like this, it stays in your head for a while.
Yeah.
And you don't know how it's gonna affect you because you can be in your car one day like he was, and all that stuff could coming back. Like I actually saw a child get this way. I actually seen and they talk about this woman's body parts that washed up. Yeah, they definitely need a program for that. And I agree. I really do, because it's a lot to take in when you in these cases. It's a lot, because I know these people probably need to be deprogrammed from seeing Diddy P tapes or sex tapes or whatsoever, just watching it
They
over
don't
and
need
over.
a program from that. Come on now, Katrina. You know how many
I'm just
people,
saying,
people watch P? You know how
No,
many people watch P all day long? Like, come on.
no, I'm just saying because these jurors probably didn't want to see this. That's what I'm saying. I ain't saying that, that the stuff that he did. I'm just saying you watching this over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, the stuff that he was doing on the tape is vile, but I'm just saying this is being programmed in your head all day, every day, every day. But yes, I think they do need to be deprogrammed from what they see on these juries. I just used him as an example because how many times they kept playing that thing in the courtroom. But yeah, I think they need to be deprogrammed from all this stuff because you take a lot of stuff in that's toxic, and you need to release that out of your body. But that's all I got, Dee.
Yeah, thank you. Tay, your thoughts?
I don't know if I can be a jury after that, Diva. You know what I mean? Because that probably gets stuck in your head, and after that you have nightmares after that right there. Because you can't handle that much pressure for that. And then it's like, I just can't do it. I mean, I could do it between, you can't do it the jury like that. It's just too much pressure right there. It's like, I just don't, it's hard. It's hard to see all the picture right there for all the crimes, like way back in those days. Because it's like, it's just like, you just had to like get out your system. I mean, you been in the jury so long for that right there. That's all, Diva.
Yeah, it's a good thing they have the program. I think it's a great thing that they have the program. Julius, your thoughts?
I didn't hear the story. I was having audio issues.
No
Sorry.
problem. Okay, Wayne, your thoughts?
I'm glad they got that started as well. I'm sure it's probably voluntary because some people, it don't bother them. But I think it should really be pushed and offered that this service is available. Because when I say offered, the reason I say offered, because some people may think, oh, I can handle this. And then out of nowhere. So they don't know, that even though they think they know, oh, it don't affect me or whatever. And a lot of people, some it may not, but some say it don't. And then they get triggered. Whereas if they had some kind of treatment or therapy prior to that, they wouldn't have to have an episode like that. So it's good to see this offered, because not only the things you see, but the things you hear. And the reason I say the things that you hear, because I was on the case of children, whatever. And I had to hear them kids say this. I had to hear them kids say he did that. You hear firsthand. I don't know anybody's child has been messed with. So to hear that coming from, real people. So it's just good that they have it available. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. Felicia, welcome in the building. I don't know if you heard this little clip I played and you have a comment on this story.
Hey everybody, I'm glad to be back. Listen, it was my birthday. Had to celebrate the whole birthday week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. I spent it with friends and family, and I ate a lot of good food and had a lot of cake and a lot of cookies. And well, it was great. So thank you. I did hear the first part. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it would be incredibly helpful. Thank you, Sass. It'll be incredibly helpful for folks who do have to see those images. It is. I'm glad I never did, and I hope I never would have to. Hey, co-counsel girl, listen, I went to Philadelphia, went to this fantastic restaurant called the Love Restaurant. They were selling these New Orleans grits, honey. They were pretty good. They weren't New Orleans grits, but it was close. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. So, and then I had their shrimp, but that's another day. That's for another day. I've been eating all week in all the best restaurants, eating all the good food. So thank you so much.
Oh gosh, hold on. Be on the lookout. We got some crazies in the chat. I'm banning and deleting somebody. But just my mods, please be on the lookout. I had to just ban 2 people. But happy birthday, Felicia, and welcome back. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and roll right into this. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and roll right into this next story. And this next story I want to talk about is the woman that is stranded in Jamaica. Okay. Let me go ahead and share screen. All right.
Working to reach some of the hardest hit areas in Jamaica.
2 days after Hurricane Melissa made landfall, thousands are still without power. Jamaica's prime minister says Melissa's winds tore the roofs off of 90% of the homes in the town of Black River, calling it ground zero. The storm now blamed for at least 28 deaths across the Caribbean, with that number expected to rise.
Among those trapped in Jamaica, a woman from the south suburbs who's fighting for her life.
She's recovering from a kidney transplant and has run out of critical medicine. As Sade Gray reports, community leaders are racing to get her the help she needs and hoping to get her home soon.
Cook County leaders are pleading with the federal government to help one of their own who is stranded in Jamaica without life-saving medication.
It is absolutely a life or death situation. We are in a crisis.
5th District Cook County Commissioner Dr. Keisha McCaskill says time is critical to get 58-year-old Trinette Britt Johnson flown back to the United States.
At this point, she has been without her medication for approximately 40 hours. And if she does not get this life treatment, we're at risk of not having Trinette.
In 2024, Britt Johnson received a kidney transplant after being diagnosed with the rare kidney disease years earlier. Just 2 months ago, she was given clearance to travel. She and her husband decided to go to Montego Bay, Jamaica. She is now stuck there after Hurricane Melissa hit and is without critical medicine that supports kidney function. Britt Johnson is Chief of Staff to Rich Township Supervisor Calvin Jordan.
She was technically trying to get out of there Saturday.
He's one of the first people she called.
When I talked to him in the weekend, I says, I just want you to enjoy. And first we text, and then she called, and she says, yeah, I want to enjoy, but I need to get off this island now.
Gift of Hope former administrator Jackie Lynch.
I know how this deteriorates in a rapid way.
Explains what happens to the body if she goes without her medicine after 48 hours.
There's a very strong chance that the heart will begin to beat harder, trying to compensate, that her urination will slow down, and then the fluid will build up in the body in the extremes, in the legs.
Diva, I'm not trying to mess up your screen, but Julius, please delete that comment out of
and
this.
she's calling on the president to step in.
My appeal has been directly to Donald Trump, to President Trump. This is not a Democratic or Republican situation. We're talking about a young African-American woman.
Cook County says the State Department is aware of this situation. Reporting in Rich Township, Sade Gray, CBS News, Chicago.
Medical experts say Jamaican hospitals rarely
Julius,
perform
please
these
delete
types
that
of
comment. I
transplants,
can't
making
get
it
through it.
difficult for patients like Britt Johnson to access the medication she needs. Officials say she's been to 3 Jamaican hospitals already to find the medication, but none have it.
Hold on one second. I'm trying to find it.
I already hid the person, and it
All right, thank
automatically
you.
deleted the comment.
Thank you, Julius. All right, I don't know what is going on with these people tonight. I think it happens like on nights like these when there's not too many people live. I'm sorry, now my screen is like frozen. All right, my screen is frozen. I'm just trying to wait for it to catch up. All right, there we go. Let me see. Let me go here. So she doesn't have much more time to be without her medication, which is pretty sad. I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, so Chicago woman on her first trip since kidney transplant stuck in Jamaica without life-saving medication after Hurricane Melissa. Trinette Britt Johnson, 58, who underwent the operation last year, has been unable to access the critical medication. A woman from Chicago who underwent a kidney transplant last year is stuck in Jamaica without critical medication after Hurricane Melissa tore through the island. Trinette Britt Johnson, 58, headed to Jamaica for her first big vacation after her operation in 2024, reported. She underwent the transplant after being diagnosed with a rare kidney disease years earlier, per CBS. Britt Johnson was given the all clear to travel 2 months ago before she and her husband decided to visit Montego Bay, that outlet noted. During their trip, Hurricane Melissa made landfall in the country as a Category 5 storm on Tuesday, October 28th, with Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holiness previous declaring the island a disaster area per a Facebook post. Britt Johnson, who is the chief of staff to Rich Township Supervisor Calvin Jordan, has now been without her medication for days and has been sleeping in an ambulance while officials in Chicago tried to help, the news reported. The medicine she needs supports kidney function and it's critical that she gets it, according to CBS News. Without the medication, Britt's body will reject her donated kidney, the news said. Cook County Commissioner Keisha insisted Britt Johnson must be flown back to the United States, saying it's absolutely a life or death situation. We are in a crisis, the news reported. At this point, she has been without her medication for approximately 40 hours, and if she does not get this life treatment, we're at risk of not having Trinette, she added, per the outlet's article published on Thursday, October 30th. Rich Township Supervisor Calvin Jordan, who Britt Johnson works for, said she was technically trying to get out of there Saturday, according to the publication. He added, when I talked to her over the weekend, I said, I just want you to enjoy. First we text, and then she called, and she says, yeah, I want to enjoy, but I need to get off this island now. I'm going to play this for you in a minute.
She's a pioneer for women in government, and for years she's been helping people in the South suburbs, but now she needs help.
That's right. NBC5's Regina Waldrop is in Richmond Park with her story.
Putting yourself out there?
I am a very private person.
Not for Trinette Britt Johnson.
I wanted to keep my illness private because I was just really embarrassed and afraid.
A few years ago, something happened that made her embrace being vulnerable. In 2020, she learned she had chronic kidney disease. She had a tumor removed along with one of her kidneys. The disease is now progressing rapidly.
I am in stage 5 renal failure at this moment.
With one kidney?
With one kidney.
The township administrator for Rich Township.
You guys get that grant.
Trinette continues to work and ask for help. She needs a living donor.
The waiting time for a kidney donation is anywhere from 5 to 7 years, and I don't have that kind of time. I can't wait that long. I need help now.
Helping Trinette on her kidney journey, this group of friends, they call themselves Team Trinette.
Just give you a big hug.
Their goal? Help her find that one match, while also helping others.
She's more than a trooper. She's one heck of a winner. One of the first things out of her mouth was, how do we help others?
She knows what she has. She's doing what she can do to slow the progression of it. And she needs help. She needs a transplant.
Once Trinette gets that kidney, she's going to be back on the road, because she's still on the road, right? And we're going to be reaching out to more and more people.
It is humbling. It's amazing. It's honestly, I didn't know people cared.
So how can you help Trinette? Well, just log on to Northwestern's registry at nmlivingdonor.org. Make sure to put in her name, Trinette Britt Johnson, and that'll start the process of her finding a living donor. Reporting from Northwestern Hospital, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
We sure hope she finds one.
Yeah, get the message out there. And she's got her team with her, too.
So that was before she actually got it, but she did get it. As we know, she's stuck in Jamaica now, and she needs her meds. She needs to get home. Medical experts said that transplants like the one Britt Johnson underwent are rarely performed in Jamaican hospitals, so the medication is hard to come by. CBS News noted she reportedly been to 3 Jamaican hospitals, but none had it. The outlet reported, citing officials. Maskell has asked President Donald Trump to step in, saying, my appeal has been directly to Donald Trump, to President Trump. This is not a Democratic or Republican situation. We're talking about a young African-American woman, per CBS News. The U.S. Department of State is aware of the situation, according to ABC Chicago. The U.S. Department of State, Rich Township Supervisor Calvin Jordan, and Cook County Commissioner Dr. Keisha didn't immediately respond when contacted by people for a comment. So I'm very sad. She's stuck. Katrina, your thoughts?
Okay. I'm sorry about that, Diva, for interrupting your thing. I have with my phone, I can get it. But yeah, I feel sorry for her. I really do. I mean, maybe she would just want to, to have some happiness for a moment, even though those storms and stuff come out there. But I really pray that she get her medicine, because they say she does a lot of things for other people. hopefully somebody will do something for her and she can get what she need and get from over there. But we'll be praying for her. That's all I got.
Thank you, Tay Tay.
She is a one strong woman right there. To survive without her medicine right there. I said, continue praying for her. That's all, Diva.
Thank you, Tay Tay. Felicia, your thoughts?
I've got a couple of thoughts, but I'm not. What kind of medicine does she need?
It's darn it. I want to say it's antiviral.
So the kidney doesn't get rejected.
Yeah, it's
But what is
antiviral.
it? Is it a pill, or do you got to go get like a?
No, it's a lot. It's a lot of medications. I know one of them is an antiviral. It's stuff that, like Wayne said, but it's several medications so that your body doesn't reject the implant.
And she traveled without it because she thought she was only going to be gone a couple of days. Is that it?
Right. She traveled.
Oh.
She must have traveled with just enough to be away, and now she's stuck. It's a problem.
Oh, God help her. I feel very bad for her because there's nothing going in and nothing going out, right? So a good portion of the island has been destroyed.
Right.
And so she went to 3 hospitals, they said, and they didn't have her stuff. And so I guess they have to go to a neighboring island and see if they have her stuff.
Yeah.
Because the situation is that the airport is messed up, traveling about. So you have a boat, you could travel by boat, you could travel by ferry perhaps to another island. And as I'm thinking, because I am a thinker, Cuba is known to have some of the greatest medicine and science in the world. And Jamaica is right next door to Cuba. And so she would have to go to Cuba probably to get her medication. And it's like here, like if I'm traveling, let's say down to Staten Island. Well, I know it's kind of difficult, but you take a ferry, even though it's part of the 5 boroughs, you got to take a ferry. So I've been to Jamaica and I've been down to the other islands. So either you would have to get a commuter jet, right? But they would call it like a taxi jet, or you get a ferry and you have to go to one of the other islands. And I would say the closest and the best one for her is Cuba. So folks going to say, well, what Miss Felicia talking about tonight? So I'm going to share some intel. One of the traveling insurances that I have is American Express. And I got sick when I was away once, and I became very sick, and I used it. I called them up. They had a team of doctors ready to help me. This is the insurance I had. They also asked me if I needed any additional cash. They were going to send it to me. They were willing to transport me if needed, but it didn't come to that. And they called me back. They called me back to follow up on my progress as to whether or not I was able to leave and to return home. So anyone that's traveling out of the country, I certainly suggest that you get that. And if by some chance somebody in her family is listening, I would certainly reach out to the folks in Cuba and see if they can get me something. Even though I know Melissa went there, she hit there just yesterday. She was over here in Brooklyn. She tore us up. We got tore up over here from Melissa. So she's terrorizing the world right now. So, but I wish that woman the best. And I hope that as we're talking, she's already leaving.
I hope so too. And it's called immunosuppressants. I had to look it up, but they said it's about 10 to 15 medications that you're on. And again, this is no judging. We do education over here. Someone put in the chat. They was talking about Hurricane Melissa for about 3 to 4 weeks before it hit. So, and then prior to this, just random conversation. Yes, I don't have American Express, but Felicia did tell me about the American Express and how that card protects you when you're on vacation, and I'm sure other things too. And maybe I got to get me one because you never know what can happen. And back in the day, I think it was the American Express commercial. It said, "Don't leave home without it."
And they still do.
Yep, that's
Now
it.
it says don't live life without it. And
Yep, Alicia told me the same thing. And I had, when I got ready to go to Paris, and I couldn't because, but I had the blood clotting thing, and they refunded my ticket.
Listen, that's the way to go. And I only use that American Express card. Oh, okay, Sass, and only when I'm traveling. They cover everything. If you purchase something, and let's say you're visiting, you purchased an item, something happened to it, it wasn't what it's supposed to be, it got broken or whatever, they immediately insure your items. Something happens, you get to report it and you get reimbursed. So,
well, come on, American Express.
Oh,
okay.
they're really fantastic. And when I tell you I had a team of doctors, they weren't speaking different languages I didn't understand. They were speaking English. They told me that they would have a doctor to my room the next day. They were phenomenal. So I hope, that this woman is able to get somebody to at least help her even if she don't have the coverage. And I hope from here on she gets that kind of coverage.
I appreciate that. Julius, your thoughts?
I hope she can everybody hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I hope she gets her meds that she needs, because her disease, I happen to know someone who I love very much has been affected by kidney disease, and the medications that they have to take is no joke. Diva is not lying about that. I hope she gets her medication, even if she can get, like Miss Felicia said, into like a commuter jet into Cuba to get, something, so then that way she can make it home to Chicago where she's from. Just something, and I'm praying that the fortune is in her favor.
Yeah. Wayne?
They always say where there's a will, there's a way. It may not be any flights going in or something like that, but all these super drones, I mean, if she had the money, or if somebody could come up with something, a lot of these Tyler Perry's, Oprah, somebody should hear this story. Because I think that there is a way, depending who you are, and I hope she's one of those people, that it could get there. I mean, this should be something nationwide, people who have, who could do something out there. If the United States need to get on there, they could. This is one of our own. I'm done.
In my opinion.
Hey, Diva. Hey, everybody. I feel like, first of all, this is a sad story. And you really don't understand how kidney disease can be on a person. The level of pain and havoc that it wreaks on their body is atrocious. So I am so sorry that she's going through this, but I do feel like there is something she can do. I'm not for sure on the way you can do it, but there's supposed to be some way that if you have medical insurance, they will cover a medevac coming to pick you up if you're in this kind of distress. So I would tell her to check into her insurance company and see if there's no way they could send a medevac to her. Because I do feel like she should have that kind of coverage on hers. Hopefully she has it on hers. I just feel like this is a sad situation, and I pray that she does get out and get somewhere where she can get the real help that she needs before her organs start shutting down and stuff like that. It's rough.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's sad, but I don't know how much can be done when the airports and everything is kind of like shut down and nobody can fly in there. I don't know. I do feel for her though. So prayers out to this young lady who is currently stuck there with her medical condition. And they said she got limited time left before everything starts shutting down. And she already went 40 hours without it. So hopefully as we speak, she's getting the help that she needs. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and roll into this next story. When I do this next story, just please be mindful of the other side when you're using your words. Let's not call other people names, but let's deal with the story at hand. I'm going to deal with the young man, the producer, who said that, at his job at CBS, he went and found out that the only people that was getting fired and didn't have a job left was the Black people. Let me share a screen so we can get more into this story. So an ex-CBS producer alleges race-based layoffs at the Paramount Cuts Hits News division. So a former CBS news producer accused the network of race-based layoffs at the corporate parent Paramount Sundance introduced sweeping cuts, claiming in a viral TikTok that every producer laid off from his team was a person of color, while white colleagues were reassigned. Trey Sherman, who is Black, served as an associate producer for CBS Evening News, a streaming extension of the network's flagship broadcast that was among the programs shuttered during the layoffs. He also worked for CBS Race and Cultural Unit, which was dissolved in the same round of cuts that affected about 100 staffers across the division. That is him. Sherman said in the TikTok posted Wednesday, "I just got laid off from my job at CBS, and every producer on my team who got laid off is a person of color. Every person who gets to stay and be relocated within the company is a white person." Sherman went on to describe a tense exchange with a CBS executive who informed him of the decision. He said the executive claimed to have done everything he could to relocate affected staffers, but later admitted that those who kept their jobs were people he had worked with before. Sherman called that explanation racist, arguing that regardless of intent, the outcome amounted to racial discrimination. Sherman said he discovered the disparity after speaking individually with his former colleagues. "I went one by one to my white colleagues. Are you getting laid off? No. Are you getting laid off? No," he recounted. Let's take a listen, which got 3.4 million views. Let's listen. Hold on one second, guys, because they clicked on another screen. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can fix this. Hold on one second. Let me see where my sound is on here.
My job at CBS, and every producer on my team who got laid off is a person of color. Every person who gets to stay and will be relocated within the company is a white person. Now, in my meeting with the executive who told me I was getting laid off, I specifically asked him if it was a consideration for us to be relocated somewhere else within the company, and he said that we advocated to keep the show. We advocated to try to get you relocated somewhere, and we couldn't. Because I asked him, why are you the person who is making this decision or delivering the news that we're being laid off? And he said, oh, it could have been anyone. Only to later find out, because it wasn't until I went downstairs thinking that me and all of my colleagues had been laid off, that I found out that it was only the people of color. So I went one by one to my white colleagues. Are you getting laid off? No. 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 So I went back up to his office and I told him, I think you lied to my face. And come to find out, it was not his decision to eliminate the show that I worked for. But he did get to decide who got to stay. I told him, you said that you couldn't get us relocated, only to find out that you were able to get some people relocated, and they all happen to be white. Am I supposed to believe that that's a coincidence? And he said, yes. I'm supposed to believe that's a coincidence. I said, do you believe that's a coincidence? He said, I do, because I chose to keep the people who I had worked with before. So mind you, not only is it not based on merit, it is in its result racist. I don't care if you decided to keep people who had purple colored hair. You deciding to keep people who you had worked with before, which don't even know if that's true. If the outcome of that decision is racist, the action was racist, that shit is fucked. I just got laid off.
It's a lot. It's a loaded conversation there. Let me go back to the article. Give me a minute. All right. Hold on. Let me share screen again. Yeah, Bad Bunny, it's a hot mess. But you know what? He did his own mini investigation. I ain't mad at him. He said he spoke to the people, so it ain't no hearsay. He went and then give a shout out to him, because after he spoke to the co-workers, he went back to the person, was like, hello, I done spoke to the people, okay? A former CBS producer accused the network of race-based layoffs at the corporate parent company Sundance. I think I read that. 100 staffers. So Sherman said in a TikTok post Wednesday, I just got laid off from my job at CBS, and every producer on my team who got laid off is a person of color. Every person who gets to stay and will be relocated within a company is a white person. Sherman went on to describe a tense exchange with a CBS executive who informed him of the decision. He said the executive claimed to have done everything he could to relocate affected staffers, but later admitted that those who he kept their jobs were people he had worked with before. Sherman called the explanation racist, arguing that regardless of intent, the outcome amounted to racial discrimination. Sherman said he discovered the disparity after speaking individually with former colleagues. I went one by one to my white colleagues. Are you getting laid off? No. Are you getting laid off? No, he recounted. He said he confronted the executive afterwards, accusing him of lying about the layoffs being evenly distributed. The former producer also alleged that the executive told him the layoffs were not based on merit, but on familiarity. Keeping employees he had previously worked with. I don't care if you decide to keep people with who have purple color hair, Sherman said in his video. If the outcome of that decision is racist, then the action was racist. That S is effed up, okay? A CBS News spokesperson declined to comment. A network insider told the Post that the layoffs affected more than 100 employees across CBS News, touching every show in division, including the show that employs Sherman. The Johannesburg bureau has been shuttered, with coverage of Africa now shifting to London, the insider noted. 2 streaming programs, CBS Mornings and CBS Even News, have been canceled, and the CBS Saturday Morning team have been folded into weekday staff as the weekend program undergoes a full reformat. Hold on one second. Corporate parent Paramount Sundance overhaul of CBS News comes amid a broader corporate shift away from diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, DEI, and that CEO David Ellison reportedly promised to dismantle following the merger. The network's Race and Culture Unit, created in the wake of the 2020 rioting touched off by the death of George Floyd, was among the divisions eliminated in the latest rounds of cuts. The move aligns with the views of the new CBS editor-in-chief, Barry Weiss, who has long criticized DEI initiatives as a liberal and anti-merit. In 2023, Op-Ed Weiss wrote that it was time to end DEI for good, rejecting what she described as forced declarations that you will prioritize identity over excellence. The CBS News Network insider told the Post that planning for the cuts have been underway for months. While Weitz officially began her role as editor-in-chief 3 weeks ago, the decision on job cuts were made prior to her arrival, according to the Insider. The Post sought comment from Sherman. Sherman apparently isn't the only fired CBS News employee who is nursing a grievance against the network. Deborah Patta, a veteran foreign correspondent based in South Africa, is considering taking legal action against CBS News after she was laid off, the Post learned earlier this week. The British publication Independent reported that Weitz personally intervened to save the job of a male foreign correspondent who appealed directly to the editor-in-chief by noting that he was sympathetic to Israel. The Post has learned that the male correspondent in question is Chris Livesay, the Rome-based reporter. Instead of firing Livesay, Weitz put Patta's name on the list of employees who are to be dismissed. This is a hot stinking mess. Katrina, your thoughts?
As you told us before, I'm taking the aggression out of my comment. That don't surprise me. This doesn't surprise me. They want to eliminate everything that's African American or brown people. Gail next, because somebody was saying that she's making too much money to be doing what she's doing. They're gonna come for her. We've seen this too many times, and like you said, Diva, we fall at the bottom of the totem pole, which was 3,000 black women was already fired from their job.
300,000.
300,000, yeah, and then now it comes for the black men, and then it'll be the white women and then the white men, but we always be at the bottom, which is the women, the black women, the black men, the white woman, then the white man. But this is sad, especially when this person just sat in his face and lied. And if he didn't go down there asking these people, he would have never knew the difference. Because he asked why could he be transferred. He told me the people didn't want him. So basically, they just let him know that we don't want no black and brown people working in our company. And in that point in time, black and brown people need to stop watching their podcasts. And let's see how far they get there if they don't have any ratings or they don't have any viewerships. And then they would be cut off. The way you're trying to cut these people off, we need to cut them off. But that's all I got.
Thank you. Tay, your thoughts?
It's like repeat history all over again because you trying to get rid of us. That's all, Diva.
Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
Sorry about that. So no, I got a lot of thoughts. I don't know exactly what he means by people of color. I'm not clear. And so the first thought that comes to mind is I'm understanding why when they lay people off, they walk you out the same day. If I was still working there, because he was still working there according to his story, right? Because they told him, we're laying you off, but he could go downstairs, he can go upstairs. He asking Diva, he asking Katrina. He said, hey, Tay, did they tell you, yo, Wayne, I just came from so-and-so office. So even if you didn't know what was going on, he has now come upstairs and he's telling you what his experience was and what he believes is going on. So there's a lot of emotion there. So I'm listening to the story and I'm feeling a lot of emotion because historically what he's saying is true. So we know historically for Black folks that that's true. Now, what is really his experience, I'm not clear on because he wasn't walked out after he was being laid off. He had this whole conversation and someone actually told him, according to him, that it was favoritism who got to stay and who had to go. And according to this Barry woman, she wants people there on merit alone. So this had nothing to do with merit, according to whoever the person was, his boss. And he wasn't talking necessarily about that. He was talking about people of color. So that could be anybody and everybody and too much assumption. And he seems a bit chaotic. And I believe him. Don't believe that I don't believe him. I do believe him. But you don't win when your strategy is haphazard like that, because he was still employed. I'm sure he's no longer employed there today. They made sure that they got him out of there. He should have strategically done things a bit differently. That's what I'll say. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, but you are correct. That's why usually once they tell you if you are physically working in the building, that's why they usually tell you, okay, they usually try to tell you at the end of the day, right? Because they don't want all this chaos. So they usually try to tell a person at the end of the day, and they usually do kind of escort you out because they can't have this chaos like this. You know, he seemed to have done it. I don't know. We going by his TikTok and his words. He seemed to have done it in a calm way, but usually people are not that calm when they doing things like that. And then you went back to the person that's told you got to go and confronted them again. That's a bit much.
Yeah, you know, I've worked at places, and I've very frankly and very directly have said many times up here, I've been put out, pushed out, thrown out, get out. And I've had situations where they even lay people off and let people go, and they send the security to come walk you out, tell you get your bag, get your phone, and we'll send you the rest of your stuff. So they're doing things a little differently right now.
Yeah, I guess over there at CBS.
So, yeah, they took a big risk, and they're going to regret it right now, because other people will come forward now. You understand? So they took a big risk. Maybe this manager wasn't even supposed to say anything.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, because there's always a list.
Yeah.
Hear me, my sisters, in the second and the third row over here. There are lists all over this country right now. These layoffs are going to be coming from now all through the new year. And they're determining who's going, who's a maybe, who we're definitely going to keep. So I don't know. This guy, I hope he gives us a part 2. I'd like to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I would like to see how it plays out too. And the reason why, you know what, I'm kind of leaning towards, I wonder if that guy was supposed to say anything yet. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I do believe that someone leaked from CBS, because they've been saying this for months now about Gail and her job. But her contract doesn't run out until May of 2026. But there has been rumors out there for months now that Gail is off the docket and that she's getting paid $15 million a year, and that the Chanel, thank you so much for the super chat. Truly appreciate you. And that, you know, they want to cut back, so forth and so on. And you know, the rumors start from somewhere, because like Felicia said, there's a list. And Gail, when she went and did that flight to the space or whatever, they thought that was going to boost the CBS morning show ratings, but for whatever reason, people was hating on that little flight. It didn't make me no difference neither way, but people was hating on that flight, and Gail was petrified to go, but she went to save her job, and then at the end of the day, it's looking like that wasn't even a save for her. My screen spent a little bit, in my opinion. Did you go?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
So I believe it. Trust me, I believe it. Paramount has been shaking up everything since this lady took over. And while she's talking about unqualified, she's definitely underqualified. Here's the thing. They've taken every black show that they can off their network. That's where they started it. And when they did this, they had such a big fan base that those fans rallied and got those shows back on, only for them to come back this season and cancel all those shows and say, look, we're showing you the ratings. They low. And the fans were still in uproar to the point where other places have picked up some of these shows that they have canceled.
You are correct. Yes.
So, and one of those shows is SWAT. And CBS canceled their name, talking about well, that's our show. You can't use the name. So now they're using another name. But this is what they've been doing. They've been trying to get rid of all of them ever since she came in. She's came in and wreaked the havoc. And I'm telling you, Paramount Plus is going to feel the heat from them doing this. Every actor that they had that was in a role, a leading role on the show, has either been laid off or their roles have been diminished to part-time characters. I don't understand what are they doing that they don't see that we know this is a racial thing, because you're only doing it to people of color. This man coming out don't help y'all situation none at all, because we had already seen the writing on the wall. It's been all over social media for a while, them canceling the black shows. They leave it to the last minute to say, oh, these shows have been canceled. Then we heard about the news people being canceled. Next, here come the producers, and they all people of color. I haven't seen one white person speak out and say, oh, they fired us. Nor have you seen a list of the white shows or the white producers coming out saying they've been fired. It's a problem.
Thank you. In my opinion, I appreciate you. And they sure did, because I remember what's his name? Shamar. Why is his name slipping my mind right now? They
Shamar Moore.
Shamar Moore. They canceled his show, and then I think they brought it back, and then I think they canceled again. Julius, your thoughts?
I think it's definitely telling. And this is when you showed a picture of the lead editor in chief, because I was hearing the name, I thought it was a man. I didn't know she was a woman. I thought she was a man. But that's just because it sounds like a man's name to me. But from what I heard, it's definitely problematic. And the heat around Miss Gail King has been picking up a lot, especially within the last week. And I say that because I think we're going to be hearing an announcement. And I think because Gail made a statement, and she's like, if they're firing me, tell me to my face. She said that, I think, to TMZ. And I'm not going to be surprised if within the next week or two we hear that she's been cut. It's definitely, a part of, a broader thing, getting rid of all the diversity, because it's too triggering for others. But also, they want to say they want to save money and stuff, but it's art that's being displayed. You don't want to further invest your art unless it looks like you. So it is a racial undertone.
Savannah, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey panel, and hey chat. So I'm not surprised because once they canceled Stephen Colbert's show, Stephen Colbert and his team did come out and speak out against the shakeups that were things that were happening behind the scenes at CBS. And he's always taking digs and swipes at Barry Weiss. And I actually like Barry. I've been following her for years. She is highly underqualified for this position. I'm surprised that she was made what's a chief editor or something. But Barry used to do a lot of commentating on news shows because she was or is the founder of Free Press. So I've been watching Barry for years because she is a champion for Jewish rights. And if you recall, during COVID, there was a lot of anti-Semitism going on against Jews, and Barry is was one of the most outspoken advocates for that cause. But also Lisa Ling, if you remember Lisa Ling,
Yes,
she just got fired. I love Lisa Ling and how she commentates and her research and her stories, absolutely top notch. And she just got fired as well because she posted it on her Instagram. And she said she wasn't surprised either.
because there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that the public does not know about at CBS. They are the lowest rating out of all three news stations. Not only just their news shows and their commentary shows, but even their primetime shows. They are the lowest rated out of all the three news stations. But I think people are looking at other ways of getting their information, not only by news, online, streaming, but also their shows. You can get anything on Netflix right now and not have to wait the weekly viewing or something like that. So I think it's not just CBS. It's going to happen with the other two major networks. I think NBC is going to be next. ABC tried it, and you see what happened, the backlash that happened with ABC by taking Kimmel off the air. They straightened up, and they needed to go back and revamp their approach to DEI and what they're doing. So I don't think that this is the last of people and shakeups at CBS. But I think all the networks need to change how they not only tell the news, but just how they entertain their audiences. They're not our go-to anymore. We go to apps, whether it's YouTube, Netflix, HBO, Hulu. Those are the number one streamers, and they are getting all the awards right now. When you look at the Emmy Awards or the other awards, Netflix is getting more awards than any regular TV station. So they all got to treat their audience a lot better.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Wayne, your thoughts?
If he feel he's right, I think he should pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything.
Oh, come on now. Okay.
That's my thoughts.
All right, I appreciate you. It's always a hard thing to go through, especially when the appearances of what seems to be happening, you see through it. I wish him the best, but I also say that he has a talent, because he said he was a producer. He has a talent that can be very well utilized in these streets. And I would say hit the pavement and let your work speak for itself. They keep firing the good talent, and it's going to show when the work needs to be done and they don't have the talent that was really producing and doing that work. If you are who you say you are, they will suffer without you, right? So but that's not taken away from, it still is painful, it's still hurt, and it's still not right. But they will suffer. If you are who you are or say you are, they're going to be losing out without your talent. I'm going to roll into this last story, and again, it's utilizing these particular people to have the conversation, but on the other hand, it's kind of like a universal thing. I will never understand how when couples break up, you don't want me anymore, but you almost wishing death on me and you wishing bad on me. It's like, what is the point? You don't want me. Go ahead and live your life and let me live mine. But as I go through this story, I will say this also. I'm of the mindset you should not get into anything else until you have servitized and finished what it is in your past, especially when kids are involved. So this last story is Offset and Cardi B. Offset, they both did a project this year, right? That they had to promote with their work or whatever. He seemed to have written this diss track about her. Doesn't use their names, her name, or her new boyfriend's name, but you pretty much can put two and two together and know who he's talking about. So Offset apparent dig at Cardi B and Stefan. You left Jordan for Rodman. So he's trying to say your new man is worse than me. I don't even know what made you do that. So Offset seemingly sets his sights on Cardi B and Stefan Diggs in his latest song, appearing to shade the hell out of the new couple with some vicious lyrics. Offset released his newest project, Haunted by Fame, on Friday, and one track in particular has listeners talking. In No Sweat, the former Migos MC raps about someone leaving for a worse option, and it's fair to assume he's comparing himself to the NBA's GOAT. On the way to the money, no stopping. How the F you leave Jordan for Rodman? You a fool if you think I'm hurt. You ain't happy. I know how it worked. He added, how you married and still giving birth? Get some help, B. You going berserk. Now the call your ex, well, your estranged wife, because they're not divorced yet, out of her name is Messy Boots. Granted, he doesn't say Cardi or Stefan's name, but given the current situation and other times Offset her, Offset sneak dissed her, and Diggs fans are convinced. One social media user believes Offset is clearly in his feels over the matter, saying he says he's not hurt, but clearly you are at Offset. Cardi hasn't taken any criticism of her pregnancy lightly. Remember, she threw a pen at a guy asking about paternity drama outside a courthouse earlier this year. Response track from Carly in the works, who knows? But considering she's happy with the Pat star, she might not even care. Now, I also heard that, he's scheduled, she didn't have her baby yet, and he got from some other girl, he has twins on the way. It's messy. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's messy. She came out with a diss song first calling him the B word. And I guess he's retaliating because he sees that she's up on a different level. The thing of it is that she tried to stick by Offset. He was the one that cheated on her over and over and over again. This girl went back to you. She left you. She went back to you, and you still did the same thing over and over again. So I, she, like you said, she should have waited until she had another child. But that's not me, and that's not my body. And he treated her horribly. And the guy that she's with now, he's very questionable. But that's their business. And because he had 3 girls pregnant in 1 year. But either way, I would have waited on that. Um, but Offset ain't no better. He's no better. He's trying to come after this girl because of her record sales and her popularity. I'm surprised somebody even going to buy his album because, like I said, he was one of the good ones, but Takeoff was the better one. But this sad on both levels because both of them out here calling each other the B word, and you got kids. So your mama B, your dad B. So okay, so I guess y'all are dogs because that's what the B word sounds for. It's just ridiculous. They need to get it together. That's why I said I would stay single before I deal with any bull crap because this is just ridiculous and sick. That's all I got.
Thank you. Tay.
First of all, I'll say you is immature. You a boy stuck in a man body. And tell them that you cheat on Cardi B while y'all was still together. So y'all both are immature and childish right there. And y'all still ain't got no divorce yet? What kind of mess this is? Is this a example you want for your kids to see this right here? To see both mommy and dad acting up because y'all both childish right there? That's a shame right there. That's all, Diva.
Thank you, Tay. Savannah, your thoughts?
The nerve of him. I mean, it was just reported last week that he owes 2.3 million in back taxes. And he has a lien in Georgia and 2 federal liens against him. And the only way, and Cardi B said it herself, the only way that he would grant her the divorce was if she paid his tax bill, which the IRS just released. I know I saw it last week that it was announced 2.3 million that he owes in back taxes. Plus, he wants a property that one of their properties, which Cardi says she would gladly give, but she wants her stuff out of there. And then he's asking for spousal support because his income that he reported last year was less than 150,000. So miss me with the BS. This he is just upset that Cardi has moved on in the quickest of ways, and her album is doing really good, and she is getting ready to go on tour after she gives birth. So he's just in need of some financial support and trying to get her attention, and she is not giving him the time of day.
Yeah, I agree. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Yeah, let's be clear. Okay? Well, she may be ghetto and ratchet. She was good for leaving this bum. Okay? This is the result of a woman taking care of a man. When you leave them, they still want you to take care of him. She ain't your mama. He can't rap. Okay, let's be clear. He
Oh,
can't rap. Okay? They made that song together. It was a flop because he was on it. You
oh my
can't
God.
rap, buddy. Okay? You can keep that stuff to yourself. The only reason why you coming out now is because you see her album is making platinum and double platinum. That's the only reason why you came out. Because everybody know that the only reason why y'all ain't divorced is because you still want the money from her.
Mm.
They reported that with the property and the money that he's requesting over $50 million from this girl. Why
Mm.
should she have to pay him $50 million when she took care of him the whole marriage? When you cheated on her, took her money and spent it on other women in the club, all over the place. Had these women in her child's bedroom.
Mm.
Had Tasha K calling her out on the internet, making this girl look stupid. And she still kept taking you back. This is why, if you're a woman and you making more and you decide to take care of a man, you better draw the lines.
Mm. Mm. Whoo, child, Felicia.
Oh yeah. Well, it's been a while since I've been hearing anything about Cardi and her husband. So I'm late. I haven't been updated. Where I left off was she was willing to bite anybody for that man. She went into a bar and beat up some women over that man. She gave that man $2 million in cash for his birthday. She told all of us to stay the F up out her marriage and her business. If she wanted to lay up with her husband after they had separated, they wanted to continue to be friends, that was her business. And as of right now, I have not heard her say that this child that's in utero is not her husband's baby. So I'm going to keep quiet and pass. I'm done.
Oh, good God. Okay. Wait.
Yeah, I don't keep up with them. I can't get in their marriage.
Thank you, Julius. Your thoughts?
You know, even though this artist that I'm about to name, I'm about to be hung at the stake for, but R. Kelly said it best: when a woman fed up,
Mm.
there's nothing you could do about it. He said it. He put that song out. That came to my mind. And Carly was fed up. And we all said, don't give him the time of day. Focus on your babies. Live your best life. What's she doing? Not giving him the time of day.
Mm.
Living her best life.
Mm-hmm.
Focusing on her babies.
Oh, there you have it.
And he is having a heart attack because he is not in control. He cannot get the money. He cannot get the punani. He cannot get nothing.
Mm.
And I am laughing. I am laughing. Because it's hilarious. He truly thinks he's that good looking, that appealing, that talented in the rap game. He's not. He truly think he has it going on. He doesn't. He's another Kevin Federline. He wants his
Mm.
ex to sustain his lifestyle for the lavishes that he was used to. but yet it was Takeoff carrying you to get you to where you are now. But yet you haven't given him his flowers. Unfortunately, he's no longer here, I don't think. Anywho, don't quote me on it. But yeah. Offset, go somewhere and sit down and count to infinity and don't come back. Thank you.
Woo! Well, there it is, people. Listen, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming through on Saturday night for Trending Topics. I had a good time with y'all. Y'all made me laugh. You made me smile. Listen, Felicia, happy birthday to you. We appreciate you coming through.
Happy birthday, Miss Felicia.
We're glad that you had
Happy birthday, Felicia. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So
and thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you so much.
Yes. So happy birthday to you. And what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought, but that's okay. Happy birthday. And listen, I'm glad that y'all came through and spent the time with me. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.